So I went from taking over 7 hours to complete one photo to shortening down my time to around 1 hour, 30 minutes in painting portraits. So in this video, I want to teach you how I got to this point, and I'm going to teach you how you can become a human printer yourself. So don't worry, you're not going to be sacrificing the quality of your photo. You're not going to be sacrificing the look. So I just want to share everything right now. So the first thing that helped me get faster at painting portraits was to actually set consistency challenges for myself. So I set a 30-day challenge for painting portraits for myself around like 4 months ago. And I was painting portraits every single day for 30 days straight. And it wasn't just me painting whatever. It's not just me using one thing and like switching it up. I was using the same exact process every single day for those 30 days straight. And what this did, it helped me build a muscle memory. And now whenever I'm painting, I'm not really thinking, I'm just using the same exact muscle memory. And that's the point that you want to get to if you want to get super fast and like shorten down your time to around like 1 hour, those 2 hour marks. So if you don't really know where to start, you don't really know what process to use, I created one. So I have a free 7-step guide on painting portraits in the description down below. That's exactly what I use whenever I'm painting. So check that out if you don't really know where to start, but that's what I did. And I actually have one example of me doing a consistency challenge apart from that 30-day that I set for myself. I wanted to create the biggest portrait I've ever made in record time. I wanted to create this in under 1 week. And 1 year ago, if I told myself that I'll be doing something like this, I'll be like, hey, bro, there's like no way that you're gonna complete that in 7 days, because it would have took me like 1 month long to complete this. So what I learned is that even just working on those smaller scale portraits, it really helps you out with even just larger scale, because you're gonna be using the same exact thing no matter how large or how small you make the picture. So yeah, I really enjoyed making this, and I really learned a lot just from doing this. I was like painting in different like periods of time, different what do you call it, different sections. So I would take like 2 hour blocks like between painting, but it was really tough for me. But by the end of this, I felt really good. I felt very satisfied with how it came out. But that's that. And the next thing that helped me get faster at painting portraits was to actually stop using a small brush and to actually use the small brush only at the end of the photos. And what this is going to do is going to help you stop obsessing over detail. So me, I'm a perfectionist, and it's really bad because I was using a really small brush whenever I was painting portraits. And this is one example of it right here. This photo took me around like 7 days long. So it's like the same amount of time that it took me to complete like a huge picture like this. A few years ago, like 1.5 years ago, I was making portraits like this, and it was taking me the same exact time for this small thing right here as a super big picture. And this was all because I was using a small brush, and I was too focused on just like little tiny things. And I in my head, I thought that I needed to focus on like just these small tiny things in order to get a realistic looking picture. But I actually realized that using a bigger brush and only saving the small brush for like those small little light reflections that you see in like people's eyes or like whether it's shining on the face is going to really help you out and like shorten down the process. Don't use a small brush until the end. Like, it's not going to help you out. It's just going to waste your time. So if you want to get faster, just cut that habit out. And now the next thing that helps me get faster at painting portraits was to not bounce back and forth between colors. So in your palette, you could have like 20 different colors, and you're just bouncing between like the pink, the red, the blue. You're using them back and forth. But this is going to waste a lot of time because you're going to need to clean it up. You're going to need to like fix different stuff on your picture. You're going to have to mix the colors together. But if you just focus on using one color all the way until you're done with it, like you don't need to use it anymore, and then you move on to the next color on your palette and you just use that all the way until you don't need it anymore, that's how you're going to get really fast. And that's exactly what I do. And I also use that for that 7-step guide. I like to use all my dark colors until I'm done. I don't have to touch it anymore. And then I move on to the lighter colors, and then I move on to my whites to finish up the photo. So those the the things that I did. And now the last thing is to time yourself, because what you measure will actually improve. So I started timing myself. I would like set a timer. I wanted to see how fast I can get. And at the start of that 30-day challenge, I was creating pictures in around like 3 hours, I want to say. I don't really remember the exact time, but I was able to shorten it down to my record time of around 1 hour 15 minutes for a Marilyn Monroe portrait that I made. So what you time will get better and it will improve. So I was finding little ways to shorten down my time, such as like not bouncing back and forth between colors, like just using one color until it's finished. And that's how I shortened down my time. So you got to treat this stuff like it's a sport. It's like you're timing yourself on the track, or you're trying to like max out your weight. You're trying to just figure out ways how you can improve like in those small little areas, because it's really gonna push you far in the long run. So if you got some value from this video, I want to invite you all to check out the emailing list in the description down below, because over there I'm going to be launching an art coaching. I'm going to be helping you guys with all the difficulties that you have, especially if you are a beginner, you don't really know where to start, you need some guidance. I feel like it's helpful to have somebody who's a few steps ahead of you, just really guide you down a stronger path. So if you want to really improve this area of your life, then I would definitely recommend checking that out. So I want to thank you all for watching this video. And if you want to watch my 30-day portrait painting challenge that I completed, click the video on the screen right now, and I'll see you all over there. Peace.